Let's explore the art of decoupage mixed with some air-dry clay and discover how these versatile techniques can transform anything into extraordinary fall decorations. Hi there, all my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc., and welcome to my channel. My crafty friend from Orca Alley requested a fall wild turkey. Orca Alley, this video is for you. So if you're ready, let's make a mess. I love this wood board. It looks like planks. I'm removing the twine hanger and I'll replace it later on. I'm using Pentart paint in the color light brown and sponging it around the sides and edges of the board. It's a perfect square and so is my rice paper image, so that's a win-win. I like the original color of it, so I'm not going to paint the entire board. My rice paper image is going to take up most of the board anyway, and it's a light color, so we're good to go. Sponging the brown paint around the edge will give this an old distressed look, and it's perfect for this project. Make sure you stick around. I'm going to show you how to fix cracks in your air-dry clay. I added a little extra paint in all the corners, adding to the old and distressed look. I used a brush on the outside edge to make sure it had full coverage. Isn't this big fat turkey just beautiful? He's going right in the middle of this board. I'm separating the pictures with a water brush and then tearing the paper. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below, in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. You don't want to cut your images on rice paper or a napkin. A torn edge is so much easier to blend than a sharp cut edge. I'm removing all the white factory edges as well. Wetting the rice paper or napkin makes it so much easier to tear. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from DecoupageNapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I'm spraying the front and back of my prepared rice paper with water. The water makes your paper more pliable and easier to work with. It also helps the adhesive soak into the paper, making a stronger bond between your paper and the base you're using. I'm going to use Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish as my decoupage adhesive today, as well as my final varnish. This formula is heavily water and heat resistant, as well as food safe. All of the Polyvine varnishes can double as a decoupage adhesive, and they perform wonderfully. Much better than the popular brand of decoupage glue. Polyvine is not a glue, it's a varnish, so the end results are outstanding. It greatly reduces bubbles and wrinkles and is absolutely crystal clear and won't yellow over time. Now I'll let that dry for a couple of hours. Because of the water, it'll take a little bit longer to dry. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. It's fun to see what cities and countries you are all watching from. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I'm using this redesigned Decor mold, Falling for Fall. I just think the pumpkins are so pretty. They have some really beautiful detail on them, which in a little bit I'll show you how to accent. I'm adding some DOS clay, which is my favorite clay. I'll fill all the cavities of the mold and then put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Freezing the clay makes it really easy to unmold and nothing delicate will break off. I've had several requests to do an in-depth tutorial on how to use air-dry clay. I'll be going over all the ins and outs as well as tips and tricks to give you a better clay experience. One of my crafty friends said she wanted me to show her how to not hate her clay, so that's what we'll be doing, my crafty friends. I'll show you how to not hate your clay. I'll be doing this tutorial in the near future. You'll want to subscribe so you don't miss it. Look how nice and easy they just pop out of the mold. I'm gluing them to my board right now while the clay is wet. I overlapped the small pumpkin over the medium pumpkin, just for effect. I cut the vine into some smaller, more manageable pieces. I forgot to put gloves on, so I'm hating the way my hands feel right now. I'm literally covered in glue and clay. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 8,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below. And I'll let this dry overnight. I have a few minor imperfections in my dry clay. No problem. I'm going to fix them with some pre-mixed grout. You can get this at Hobby Lobby or any home improvement store. I used my clay sculpting tool to grab a small amount of the grout, putting it in an area that has a crack or missing some clay. Now I'm dipping a small paintbrush in water and then dabbing most of it off. You want a damp brush, not a dripping one. I'm going to smooth the grout out with the brush. If it still needs smoothing out, just moisten your brush again and brush over it. If you need more, you can build it up until it's perfect. This dries super fast. You'll be ready to paint in about 30 minutes. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. I'm using Pentart paint in the color Yellow Red Clay, and it's the perfect pumpkin color. It goes so perfect with this rice paper. I love the blend of fall colors. So all three pumpkins are going to be this color. I put a top layer of Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish on top of the rice paper. I used the satin finish so there is a gloss to it. Any mishaps I make will wipe right off. I mixed two colors of yellow together to make the perfect yellow for the flowers. I like to mix my paints in these little 2-ounce plastic cups with a lid. It keeps the paint fresh for a couple of days in case I need to go back and touch up anything. I want the stems to be a little bit green and a little bit brown, so I mixed vintage green and light brown together for my stem color. You never have to go by how the paint colors come in the bottles. I mix them all the time to make the exact color I'm looking for. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. This is a Martha Stewart color, and I don't even know if it's available any longer. I've had this bottle of paint for years. It's called Citrine Gold. It's such a pretty green with metallic gold in it, so you could probably mix it yourself. This color will be going on all the vines and leaves. I normally use Pentart paints when I can. Pentart and Dixie Belle are my favorite paints because they both go on so smoothly. They both are thick and creamy and have such great coverage. I almost never need to put a second coat of Pentart. Even their metallic paints cover in one coat. I'm going to be doing some antiquing and I'll need a glossy surface. Once the paint was dry in about 30 minutes, I gave everything a coat of Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish. and I let that dry for about an hour. My varnish is dry and everything is nice and shiny. I'm using Folk Art Antiquing Medium in the color Wooden Bucket Brown. I added a little bit of water to make it a little runnier. I like my antiquing solutions a little bit thinner, but you can use it straight out of the bottle if you want to. I'm brushing it on everything and then wiping it off right away. I'm using a dry, soft cloth. It will remain in all the cracks and crevices but wipe off the surface. If I hadn't put the satin varnish on first, it wouldn't have wiped off. It would have grabbed onto the paint. So either a satin or gloss varnish before antiquing is super important. Antiquing adds so much depth by accenting all the details that were in your mold. Now my favorite part. I just love putting shimmery rubs on my projects. I'm using aged brass for the pumpkins. You just rub it on with your finger and it gives a beautiful highlight to your molded pieces. I'm going to put Firebird on all the flowers. This color is close to a copper, but a little bit more orange. It's beautiful and looks great with the yellow. I'm putting white pearl on all the leaves and vines. It's giving them a beautiful silvery shimmer. It's so pretty mixed with the green and gold paint. You'll see that I put some on my finger and then rub my finger and thumb together. This keeps from putting a big blob on your piece. You just want to softly rub it across the high areas. White gold went on all the stems. I highlighted very delicately all the raised detail on the pumpkins with gold. This added such a beautiful detail to those pumpkins. This beautiful project needs a beautiful bow. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on the Bow Dabber bow making for my crafty friend Deborah T. There are vertical and horizontal slits in the bow maker. The vertical one is for the cord that will tie the bow together. Take a small thin cord or wire and put it in the vertical slit. To make the bow, put your ribbon back and forth in the horizontal slits. You can put as many layers and different types of ribbon as you want to. I'm using 3 different types of ribbon. The first layer is a twine burlap type of ribbon. Then I put a light cream burlap ribbon with a gold trim. I finished it off with a small woven twine ribbon on top. Once you have all your ribbon layers in the horizontal slits, pull up the thin cord or wire in the vertical slits and tie both ends together. Now you can pull up your beautiful bow. I pull the cords around to the back and tie a knot. And all that's left to do is trim off the excess ribbon on the tails of the bow. I hope this helped, Deborah. Let me know. I have 2 little wooden leaves that I'm adding some Firebird rub to, and they'll go in the center of the bow. I'm using some small twine to make a new hanger for my plaque. And now I'm gluing those 2 cute little leaves on the bow. And the finishing touch, gets glued to the top of the plaque. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, DecoupageNapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.